because that's a very important part of the equation. And we harm ourselves.
Now, what does sunshine have to do with it? They tell us don't spend much time in the sun because it gives you skin cancer.
Yes, but we could spend 15 to 20 minutes in the sun getting our vitamin D, and vitamin D is good for our bones.
I take vitamin D by mouth every day.
Vitamin D is good for our bones. And
calcium?
Exactly. You don't want to, you have to exercise. In order to exercise, you need to have strong, healthy bones and muscles.
Exactly, yeah.
So we need our vitamin D in order to facilitate that.
That helps, well, I guess it takes down the chance of getting osteoporosis.
Yes,
The calcium
that's true.
in the okay.
Osteoporosis, osteopenia.
Osteopenia is in the early stages, the beginning of it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I go once every 2 or 3 years for the bone density test. Those things are valuable.
They are very valuable.
But what makes me so angry is that there's women, I'm lucky I have health care, but there are millions of us who don't have it.
That's right. But let me say this.
Sure, this is your 30 minutes. You can say anything you want.
In Howard County, unfortunately, I haven't been to some of the other county senior expos. But at the 50 Plus Senior Expo, which is always in October in Howard County, at the Wide Lake Senior High School.
Mention that again, the Senior Expo.
50 Plus Senior Expo.
Every October.
Every October in Howard County.
Howard County, okay.
You could get a free bone density test. They have blood screenings, they have BMI screenings, they have...
Now, what's a BMI?
BMI is Body Mass Index.
Okay.
Where you take your weight and you divide it by your height, and that determines what you should weigh. It gives you a percentage.
Okay.
And if you're between 25, ideal is 25 body mass index.
25%, okay.
If you're between 25 and 30, you're overweight.
Really?
Yes. And if you're over 30%, like 31% and above, you're considered obese.
My gosh.
So there's no reason to say, oh, well, this child is healthy, oh, big bones run in our family, whatever. You could just empirically say that, use these numbers and check the numbers, and you could determine whether or not you're within the normal range, whether you're overweight, or whether you're obese.
Because I know growing up, my father was a strong believer, if you eat, you're not sick. If you eat, you're not sick. And if you sat down to the table, any of us kids, and not clean up your plate, that was trouble. But you know, I was smart. I'm not saying my other brothers and sisters are stupid. I'm not saying that. But I knew what my body liked. I didn't like the fried greasy stuff. I love cereal. And I like the muffins, you know, what do you want to call them, the ground up muffins, like blueberry muffins and all that. But I eat what makes my body feel good. You may think that's crazy, but that's what I do. And I make sure I get 22 glasses of water every single day in my life.
That's
22
wonderful.
8-ounce, and I'm on a bicycle every morning for 10 miles, and I'm hitting the gym 3 times a week when I work 3 jobs.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
it is amazing, but your body tells you something. If I eat something that doesn't agree, and maybe you too, get indigestion.
That's right. That's right.
And you just feel like you're all blown up like a balloon. And it's
That's
not
right.
worth eating something to
No,
make you
it's
hurt
not.
like that. So, I mean, don't you think too that could be why possibly a lot of the babies that they think they have allergies to food, maybe they're just giving them something that they shouldn't give them too much of.
That's right. Exactly.
You're the doctor, I mean, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, our bodies develop allergies to different things.
Yes.
And it's, you know, there are a lot of pesticides that are being used on fruits and vegetables, so we just need to wash them properly.
Right. You don't think we should? Now, I can't afford what I call organic vegetables in the store. Have you seen one little green pepper in one store was $2?
Wow.
Organic. I can plant them in my own backyard and tell them they're organic.
That's right.
So, I mean, okay, what are some of the signs? Let's say in a little child, what can you tell that's a diabetes? If he starts passing urine too much, if he's too thirsty all the time?
Right. If they're not sleeping well.
All right, lack of sleep is number 1. I'm going to write
And
this down.
basically, you should see your pediatrician. Your pediatrician will do blood work, and diabetes is, of course, detected in the blood.
All
if your
right.
blood sugar is over 130, you're prone to having diabetes.
Number 1.
Exactly.
No, number 2. Number 2 is right. Number 2, you can give to yourself. And number 1, it's heredity.
Yeah, it's hereditary.
So number 2, if your blood sugar is over 130, you've given yourself too much of something that you shouldn't have had.
That's true.
Okay. All right. 130. Okay. Because All right.
And let me just hasten to say this.
Go ahead, hasten, say anything you want.
That children are not working. They don't have the money to go out and go to these fast food places unless you give it to them. They don't have, they're not going out shopping and buying the food. So moms and dads, whatever you're bringing into the house, that's what your children are going to eat. So if you don't bring the chips into the house, if you don't bring the cookies into the house,
The onion dip, the ice cream.
exactly, if you don't bring the Kool-Aid, your children aren't going to consume it.
But see, some moms
on a regular basis.
Some mom, you're not a mom. I mean, I know you have stepchildren, but you're not a mom. But some moms use that. If you sit there and read, you can have a bowl of ice cream.
Well,
if you do good on your test, you can
if
have
you sit there and read,
cookies.
let's go for a walk. Let's go out to the park.
Suppose a mom can't do that, Dr. Andrew. Andrew, what do you do then?
If they can't take
If they
their children,
can't take them to the park,
why can't the mother take the child out to the
suppose
park?
there's divorce
Is she-
in the family,
Okay.
and there's only one parent, and she's got to go to work, and she's got a babysitter going to watch these kids.
Okay.
See, that's a hard scenario to
That-
get into.
that
It's
is a very hard
because-
scenario.
Yes, it's hard.
Well, the babysitter can enforce the exercise regime. I mean, instead of the babysitter sitting down there and talking to her boyfriend or whatever and watching TV,
Let's hope the boyfriend's not in the apartment.
she could take the children out for a walk. She could take the children out to the park.
Okay? It's very hard being a parent.
It is hard being a parent.
Today, with the divorce rate as high as it is, 1 out of
Yes.
4 marriages,
That's true.
and there's these kids left behind.
Exactly. But that's where we have to think about our actions before we become parents. We have to decide, well, I'm going to be a parent, and these are some of the things I'm going to have to give up, and this is how I'm going to have to raise my children who didn't ask to be here.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not going to be able to do everything that I want to do, but by having these children, I'm going to make sure they're healthy. I'm going to make sure they're well taken care of, even if I have to work at night so that I can spend time with them during the day.
Exactly.
I'm going to have to adjust my schedule to meet my children.
What I have found in the last few years, parents are me, 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 me. It's what me wants to do, what you want to do, what I want to do. What's happened to the moms that used to be very dedicated to children? Moms, don't get mad at me, please.
They've gotten older.
Okay, and tired.
Yes.
Oh,
And
okay.
unfortunately, I think what has happened is some of the older mothers who were very dedicated are now having passed on those values to their children. And we keep on turning in cycles. You have the working mom, you have the stay-at-home mom, you have the homeschooling mom, you have the
Divorce mom,
divorced mom, you have the never married mom,
the widow mom.
the widow. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different. And what we need to do is come together as women. And if this woman is going to work at night so she can have more time with her children, then some of the women like myself who don't have any children can maybe watch your children while you go to work. And make sure that they're in a secure environment, make sure they're getting their homework done, make sure they're getting their exercise. We have to come together and use the resources that we have and trade off. Just like you do, you make bargains, you make deals, and you may not exchange any money. This is a way that we could do it as well.
You carpool.
Exactly.
Yeah, they've got a thing on the internet called Mommy Now. If you're a mom and you just become a mom, you can talk to other women. So, but what you just said is good sense to me, because we have to have friends first that we know, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
know who's going to be with these children.
Absolutely.
And then you have to give to get. All my life I've had to give to get. I've never
Yes.
had anything given to me without having to do something for it.
That's right.
And I'm just saying that children's lives are so very, very important.
Absolutely.
And those pictures, they're going to be shown on the air. Why does diabetes start in your feet? Why? Is that where that usually goes to?
Well, diabetes doesn't start in your feet, but the effects in the feet can be devastating.
Is that the first sign?
It may be the first sign. It may be the first sign. You may develop a callus, and you think it's just a callus. But when you go to the podiatrist, the podiatrist notices that there's not normal skin under that callus. The skin is soft and mushy.
Ew.
So that is an ulcer. Or if there's a callus and there's a dark area in the callus, that might be blood, indicating that the underlying bones are really bearing more weight than they should, and that this could develop into an ulcer. We call that a pre-ulcer.